gozaimasu, shredheads, and welcome to Q&A number 10, the greatest Q&A of all time, the greatest Q&A on YouTube. And I have some spectacular questions for you guys. I got spectacular questions from you guys, and I thank you all for asking me these great questions. And we are going to shoot this off right now. Pick in your face. There we go. Okay, the first question comes from Buster Trocine. Hopefully I said your name right. It could be Troxine, I'm not sure. But he said, why don't you stay in America and start a band with me? And I said, listen, man, I have the call for adventure in my bones, and I've felt it for the last 5-10 years. And I need to get out of here, need to get out of this country and explore the world. And I want to stop in Asia first, and that's what I'm gonna do. And so I say to you, if you can fit into my suitcase, which is a standard luggage bag, we'll start a band together over in Asia, and it'll be cool. We'll have a good time. We'll drink some Asian beers, some Sapporo, something like that, and we'll have a good old time. Probably not drink, I don't know. I'm not really of a drinker today. You know, just in general, but yeah, we can have a couple beers. But anyway, the next one comes from Mark Beard. Mark Beard writes, what if your amp doesn't have an effects loop? And this is from the JHS little black box video. And that's a great question because you need the effects loop for this thing. If you do not have the effects loop, you have to crank it some other way. Either just blow your eardrums out, or just get a power attenuator. A power attenuator that goes between the head and the cabinet, and it makes it so that it can be quieter while you crank the crap out of your amp. But yeah, go look into the power attenuator. Paul Gilbert is a huge fan of those. But they will work for you if you don't have one of those. A lot of people use these old vintage plexi heads, and they use one of these babies to just crank it out and get that whole brown sound. Even Eddie Van Halen kind of had some kind of thing going on with the Variac back in the day, back before we even knew about the power plate. But the next question comes from Spaced Out Ace. If I said your name wrong, you know, there must be something wrong with me. Spaced Out Ace. Okay. Does the flashing of the volume and gain sliders mean you are clipping or something? And this is on the MXR equalizer pedal video, and yes, it does. I tested it out. I thought it was the lights, but it does mean if you're clipping or not, and that's really cool because when you can use this as an overdrive, you can get that clip sound. The Tube Screamer as a whole does clip your sound a bit in order to get like that extra kind of square wave to your sound, and a lot of people swear by the Tube Screamer because it does that clip. And it's cool that you can get that type of clip with the MXR as well, and it really helps out for really distorted metal things. But if you wanted to use it as a boost, you can just level it up until you're not getting that clip and you're just getting crap tons of volume through your amp, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Look at the camera, I'm practicing that. There's 3 cameras, 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, and I'm working on that. That's the part of the YouTube life, working on production and all that crap. And the next question is by Yuppie. He says, and this is on the Whammy one, gotta look down here like this real close. Would you be able to do a comparison between the Whammy 4 and 5? Most of the demos barely touch distortion, and even then it's like Tube Screamer into clean amp. This is what I'm interested in, and I do definitely agree. I don't have the Whammy 5, but I do have the Whammy DT, and I have made that video, and it is right now in a solid state drive that needs to be edited right now, and it's going to be coming out soon, possibly this week. I don't know. It's a December video, so one of these weeks, December, it's going to be coming out, and it's going to be awesome. The biggest difference I hear between the Whammy DT and the Whammy 4 is that the tracking is tighter on the DT, and on the Whammy 4 the tracking is a bit looser and it has that old school glitchy sound. You kind of get that old school Dimebag Darrell, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani sound with the glitches, and I really like it. It's kind of, it feels like an analog delay to me. Just pointing at the camera. It feels like an analog delay to me because it has all that that non-good stuff in it. Like it's not super clean, it's not sterile, but it has that nice characteristic to it that makes it kind of have that dated analog, well, not analog, but you know what I mean. It's got that kind of grungy feel to it that I really like about it. It's got a good character to it. Okay, this is from Luke Offfield. I love your descriptions. Hilarious. What model of the Tele are you using? And thank you so much. I work on the descriptions every week, and I usually just write the descriptions off the top of my head, and whatever comes out, and that's how I do the descriptions. Anyway, what model Tele am I using? It's the Jim Root Tele over here, you can see. And this is an awesome guitar. I haven't used it in a couple months because I've just been so lazy when it comes to adjusting it. I put 8s on there, some 8 strings, and put it in E standard. It was in C standard, but honestly, I really got tired of just that drop tune sound. And I have the Whammy DT, so I may as well just play in E standard, and E standard is just my thing, I guess. So I guess I'm just a boomer like that. But anyway, E standard, Jim Root Telecaster, it's awesome. I'm not exactly sure if they're still making new ones. They're pushing the Jaguar like crazy nowadays, but this is awesome guitar. I bought this used off of eBay, and it's worth all the pennies, all the monies, all the Monopoly boardwalks, all of that stuff. It's great. Eventually I need to redo the thing, and then I'll be playing it more. The only thing that sucks about it is there's no Whammy, and like ever since I started playing this Stratocaster, I love the Whammy so much. It's when you go from Whammy to no Whammy guitar, it's like losing a limb, and then you can feel the phantom pains, and you just kind of want to hit the Whammy, but it's not there. But anyway, next question, Lucas Gonzalez. Are you playing out of tune on purpose? Edit spelling. Yes, I am. The whole channel is built off of being out of tune. I wanted to see how far I could just push everybody in the entire guitar music industry. I wanted to see how much I could push their ears out of their face with my off-tune guitar, and yes, I am playing off-tune. Okay, the next one is from Richard Lopez. The best demo of this pedal. Great video. Thank you so much. I gotta lean over like this. I look like a freaking grandpa doing this. Do you think I don't know what that is. Do you think I can use it with other pedals stacked in the effects loop, or do you recommend just this alone? I was thinking to put this at the end of the effects loop chain. Do you think it will work normally? Thanks, and keep up with the good work. Thank you so much, and hopefully that question came out verbally, but I had a bit of trouble with it because I'm not good at English. Anyway, is the JHS little black amp box good? That is the video he asked the question on. And yes, it will work with effects. I want to say effects, I don't know why. It will work with effects. You just have to put it in the end of your chain, and you can just crank the crap out of it just like you would any other volume in the thing, and it will work really well in the effects loop. I would suggest though that you play around with it on low volumes first and then crank it up afterwards, because cranking your amp and when you're not used to it, it can create some really loud noises unexpectedly if you're not used to using the effects loop, and it's happened to me quite a lot of times. I actually use some of these gun protection things anytime I have to deal with cranking the crap out of the amp, and I'm just unsure if it's gonna go crazy or not. The Mesa Boogie is like, it's not 100% FX loop where it puts the signal 100% in it. It's like maybe 90 at best. And it has some weird issues, especially the MXR equalizer. If I crank the equalizer, there will be some crazy sounds. But with the DSL back here, this is 100%. I have no issues whatsoever. So check it out and mess around with it. That's what it's all about, messing around with stuff. And that's how you get things going. You just mess around with enough until you figure out what works and what doesn't work. And the next one is by Coom. Yes, can I use pedal on it? I've never owned an amp, but I'm buying soon. Just really need to know if I can, if it can, I'll buy it. I hope you replies. Okay. Great question. You can see my terrible haircut that I cut last night. Hopefully it grows in soon. I'm not sure if it's good or not. We'll see what happens. But this is the Marshall MG10, a good practice amp video. And yes, it's really good with effects. It has a very, you can get the cleanest sound you want out of that baby. It's got a dedicated clean sound, and whatever you put in front of that baby is gonna sound amazing. Distortion pedal. It does have a small speaker, so you're not going to get like the full like bass response out of everything, but it's really good. It's a really good beginner amp, and it's just even beyond beginner. It's just a really good practice amp, and it's going to sound great with any pedals you put it through. I usually used to just play with all the pedals that came in for the reviews with the Marshall MG before I even did the videos, and they sounded great to me. But when I put them through like the Mesa Boogie or the big old Marshall DSL back here, it was just like a no-brainer to me. It was like, oh my God, you could feel the entire sound of this thing. Okay, we're on question number 9 here, and this is from Venom with a U. Great demonstration, man. Would you recommend this one over Katana Boss Mini? I don't care much about the cleans, and I agree. I'm not a huge clean guy. Oh yeah, and this is on the Marshall MG10 video as well. I don't care as much about cleans. Cleans are great, but it's all distortion with me. I love the distortion. That's the reason I even play guitar. It's that powerful saturation, man, that just gets me going. Anyway, yes, the Katana Mini is extremely amazing. I use it almost every day. It's 7 watt, and I used to have it in my car, and I used to play on brakes. Now I practice Japanese on my brakes, so that's kind of got thrown out the window a bit. Now I practice at home. But the Katana 7 is, the Katana Mini it just sounds great on every channel you play it on. The thing that keeps it back is kind of like the Marshall MG. The speaker is actually smaller than the Marshall MG, so you're not getting the full bass response out of it, but it's good enough. It's really good for what it is, especially with the travel aspect of it. You can take it anywhere, any place you want. It's a great little amp, and it sounds awesome. It has everything you need on it. It's got massive distortion as well as delay, and in my opinion, delay is like a must if you want to just enjoy that kind of solo sound. You know what I mean? That solo delay sound. It's what everybody wants. And lastly, we have question number 10. This is from John Casper 2, subscriber. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Sounds great, man. I also run one of these into effects loop of Marshall DSL. Works good in the loop after chorus and delay too. What are you using to boost the front end? And this is from the JHS Little Black Amp Box Good video. And on that video, I am using the DSL as well, and I'm using the Amazon Boost, and that thing freaking makes this thing rock. I had a Tube Screamer on before this thing, and it just doesn't push it enough. But the boost, man, it just gives you so much volume and like power that just courses through the DSL and makes it into a whole new beast, and it is awesome. And the JHS Little Black Amp Box really helps out as well, and it makes it have this fuller sound to it when you crank the crap out of it. It's the slightest difference between the JHS Little Black Amp Box and just playing with the cranked preamp. You just get a fuller sound out of the JHS, and it's cool. It's a really cool sounding thing. I will say though, for vintage Marshalls, like older ones than 2000s, I would say for Marshalls that don't have that ultra crazy gain, you definitely need the JHS thing. I used to have the Marshall MA, and that didn't have the ultra gain channel on it. It had maybe at best the green channel, which the green channel on this is actually, in my opinion, heavier than the Marshall MA channel. But I had to crank that thing just to get that full like Joe Satriani ultra crazy distortion that I so wanted, and you wanted to boost the crap out of it. But this thing has all the gain in the world. Actually, I have to back off on the gain because it's so like, there's just too much of it, which is great for me. I like to have too much than not enough. And I find a lot of older Marshalls to be just a bit too conservative with the distortion. Just give me that big old distortion fart sound, and then I can dial back a bit, and I'll be fine, you know. I actually use the green channel on this amp more than the ultra channel because it's so much tighter sounding. It sounds like 80s thrash, but it has so much clarity to it. I really love the sound. I really love the sound of this DSL, and it has that Marshall mid-range, perfect for solo guitars, that almost like a Steve Vai, Joe Satriani type sound. I really love it so much. And anyway, this has been Q&A number 10. And if you have any questions for the next Q&A, let me know down in the comments below. I want to see your faces, your lovely avatars, all of that stuff. And thank you so much for watching.